being landlords, and like, oh, you haven't seen this? It's very.
I know what you're talking about.
I've seen bad landlords get hated on.
No.
A lot of deservingly so.
The concept of there being landlords, people who profit from just owning a bunch of property,
that's where Reddit goes too liberal on me.
This is the socialist stuff that's going around right now, right? The idea that this is someone making money. What is it? I don't want to go into the terms. I don't know the fucking terms. Like, I don't want to guess it wrong kind of deal. But it's like away from like the means of the production kind of deal. So this is someone who's just taking money from someone else for doing nothing. Is a kind of sentiment of that.
What it's actually is a guy who took on a risk by making a huge investment, oftentimes with their own two hands, fixing up a place and making it nicer than it was before, increasing its value, renting it out. And then these renters are like, fuck you. Why do you get to do this? Dude, you could have. This is available to all of us, especially if you haven't bought a home before.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from with like the middle of the road thing. Like, they are going too far with like every landlord is bad or something. Like, I'm not that clued into that universe.
Yeah, what I've read,
I can definitely empathize with the concerns I've seen, which is like every adult in my life told me to go to college and that would give me a job that paid me enough that I could get a comfortable house, I could start saving, I could, prepare to get a mortgage. And that's like, oh, well, now I'm in crippling debt. This degree every adult in my life told me to get is no longer as valuable as it was when they got it. And I'm being told, oh, well, sorry, you're up shit creek. You better go work at Domino's with your, $35,000, $40,000 in debt.
So
I had a different
when I finished my undergraduate degree.
All right. So I want to hear your feedback on this. Growing up, my father didn't say, get a degree and you'll have this future. He said, Woody, he doesn't call me Woody, 80% of degrees are bullshit. You need a job training degree. You can be a doctor. You can be an engineer. You can be a nurse. You can be an accountant. I'm like, I think I want to get a business degree. No, business is a general bullshit degree that doesn't get you a job. Accounting is a degree. Mechanical engineering is a degree. Computer science. These are job training degrees. What about English? English is for finding a husband. That's what the English degree is for. It is not for getting a job afterwards. This is like what I learned. So when I hear other people say, man, I got this degree and now there's no jobs on the other side, I'm like, well, yeah, you got the wrong one. They didn't tell you these were the wrong ones. They told me that these were bullshit degrees and that there aren't it's not job training. The job training degrees are the ones.
I remember when I was
maybe other people didn't hear this.
Yeah. I formulated this by watching Seinfeld as a kid, as bizarre as that sounds. Because I just remember like the characters in that show and how like they had those nonsensical degrees and like how like whenever George wanted to go get a job, he couldn't because he had like he had like an English degree or something. Like I don't remember what George Costanza's degree is in. I wish I did off the top of my head, but it's something like that.
That was a thing in that show.
It wasn't architecture,
but like he's always struggling because. Like, well, what do you do? He's like, well, I worked at Vandalay Industries, and it's like he's gonna make it up the whole way through. Yeah.
Philosophy is a degree that oftentimes lawyers take, and so you get a philosophy in your undergrad, but know that you're taking a giant risk. If you don't actually get accepted into law school and then pass law school and become an attorney, then you don't have then you basically you ruined it. You chose a degree that doesn't get you a job. That's what philosophy is. Oh, are you philosophy? Great. I'm sorry.
No, I have a psychology degree, undergraduate psychology degree, which was almost useless for me when I finished my undergrad.
There are a lot of therapy degrees that are similar, and I might be off on this, but I think I'm on target. Like if you finish with an undergrad and you want to be a physical therapist or occupational therapist or something like that, you can't get a job. Some jobs require masters, and I think psychology is one.
What's interesting?
There was stuff I could do, but almost nothing was particularly well paid, and almost none of it was particularly interesting work either for me. So it was like I had to go back and get my graduate degree before anything would open up.
Some jobs need
that.
So
one thing that's always been interesting to me, like you mentioned, the two kinds of degrees. Now you can't really pull like a Frank Abagnale Jr. and just go become a doctor or become a lawyer. Because those are like job training degrees, like you said. Like even in that movie Catch Me If You Can, like he thinks it's cool to be a doctor until like that kid comes in all fucked up and he's like vomiting in the broom closet because he saw a skint knee. He's like, oh wait a minute, I can't be a doctor. This is dumb. And then he goes and pretends to be a fucking lawyer. And but like you can't do those things. What you could do is like any of those jobs that require like a business degree. It seems like, why can't you just get a fake diploma? Like what if you just like printed out a fake business? I don't know what kind of job
May
requires
as well
a business.
try.
Like
That's not
they're
a
getting one of
crime.
those. It isn't. Is it a crime?
To print out a fake business degree, there's no way that's a crime. There's just no way.
There's whole institutes devoted to exactly that.
All right, but it's signed by the Ronald McDonald House. So
Here's my thing. It seems like University of Georgia prints out like I don't know how many of those a year, those diplomas. So why can't I, as a private individual, print myself one out?
I have
Like
Googled it. It
what
is
gives
not
them the right?
illegal to buy or make fake diplomas. It is fraud if you try to pass them off as real.
but they won't know it'll be so good.
All right, so let's talk about
the fine print. This is not real.
Because the way that you check to see if a diploma is real is like a bouncer checking your ID. Like you hold it up.
But
It's got
here's
like
the
a
thing.
business with a Z in it.
Here's the thing. Let's
I
say
remember
that you're
business having an S in it.
Yeah, so that was like it must have been a different timeline.
all right. Let's assume you're applying for some sort of middle level management position at like some. It doesn't matter what company. Your job is going to be like managing people in an office scenario, perhaps, and you need this degree, that you are going to fake. Are they really going to like fucking like check it out really, or like call anybody, or like scan a fucking barcode? I think they're just going to be like, oh, okay, you got your degree from blah blah blah, and you were here for this number of years, okay, and
Here's my
like
guess. I think if you go to a big enough company, if you're working for Pepsi or Cisco or
oh
Facebook,
yeah, maybe
then they check you. If you're working for someone small, then they don't.
Mhm. Yeah, I would imagine, and it'll probably go by like whether or not you're doing your job. Like if you're faking it and you truly have made it, and you have no idea what you're doing.
That's where the genius comes in of picking a job that you can do, but also that like your business degree would cover, your fake business degree. Like you
So if I
wouldn't
understand
become a
correctly,
doctor or a lawyer.
You're anti-switching someone's dog out without their knowledge, but you're pro hiring someone who doesn't actually have the right degree.
Yes,
You're okay with
Yes.
switching the degree out on someone.
Yes.
Just sounds tracking
Absolutely.
on these.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're keeping up.
But
no,
you're also willing to send me that link still, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
To buy the jizz
if I'm being honest, I'm not going to send you the link. But whenever this is published on Saturday, you can just go in the description and
you can look it up yourself.
Look, he doesn't have the skill set. He's been lying about this skill set
Yeah.
the entire show.
Yeah,
tonight.
actually, that is true. Kyle is the worst copy paster I've ever met.
Yeah, I don't know
so
how to do
bad.
it right.
I've been
No.
teasing about it for 10 years.
Yeah,
and at
Control
first-
C, Control V. I don't get it. It's can't
At
wrap it around
first,
my
he
head.
pushed back. Like, no, Woody, I'm good at it. I feel like now he's come to accept that he's actually slow at copying.
He was
and
still
pasting.
right click.
Oh, no,
copying
no,
until
see,
a year and a half
like-
ago.
I got fed up with it. I got some pedals under my desk. One of them is Control C. One of them is Control V. I'm the fucking
Good.
copy paste master. Like it's
One of the
completely
pedal, I just
Really?
step on it and it injects me with something, and then I'm happy again.
Yeah.
All right, so
Use
Kyle,
that for
you
Twitch.
you walk in, you're past the hiring process at this company. You're a businessman now, at least as
Vandalay
far as they
Industries.
know. Vandalay Industries. You go into their, let's say it's fucking, I don't know, pick a company you'd like to work at, and then what's the idea that you would come to the floor with where they'd go, man, this guy, he's not lying at all, definitely. Like he knows, like, if you're working
That's
at
how they think about it too.
Chipotle, you go into the Chipotle board meeting, you need to have an idea. Day one, they're calling on you. We need to revolutionize our
What
business,
if our
Mr.
product
Myers.
didn't make someone need to?
Guys,
need
hear
Oh,
me out.
shit?
If we
I
put
would
enough-
I would ask. Here's what I would do. I would ask for some. They want to revolutionize Chipotle.
We need to take Chipotle and totally flip it on its head.
Okay,
You know
so
how
what
they
I would
have-
do is I would ask for at least
to go.
I would need a day to come up with my proposal at least, right?
Of course.
They
Yeah.
they can't expect me to just have this like ad libbed. Then I call my friend that works at corporate for Chick-fil-A and I get her to do my work for me.
Oh,
And I
so
turn
you're
that
like
in.
a
Because
double
she's-
cheat.
Yes, double cheat. Yeah.
You know, at Chick-fil-A behind the
think it'll work.
glass, they have all those little buckets full of, pickles or whatever.
Didn't.
Just stop it. I said Chick-fil-A, but I meant Chipotle. Anyway, you can say I want this, and they build your thing along the way. Is that not how Chipotle works? Am I mixing up my
No.
restaurant?
No. I just didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. Chick-fil-A.
Have one of them be jizz enhancer. We can just leverage lock and load the ideas we've come up with already and reuse them. They'll
What is a
sprinkle
burrito?
it on your
Now when
fired,
you eat this
Mr.
burrito, you
Costanza.
shoot out both ends.
This is a winning
what
idea. Just be like, hey, bro, jizz enhancer, and then they sprinkle it on, and you suddenly your sandwich is better than it would have been.
We need to
This
get
is more
our
of a Subway
jizz.
idea.
We need to get our jizz enhancer in storefronts. I was saying this on PKN the other day.
Starbucks. You need to go into Starbucks.
No, but like seriously though, I was in like this adult toy store or something like that, whatever you want to call it, yesterday, an adult store. Like we got like dildos and vibrators and lube and shit. And
my guest room.
and their whole like the whole area around the counter was full of all sorts of like products like lock and load. Like we need to invade that retail.
That's what we need to do.
Taylor, don't you do this for a living?
I was about to tell you how you can do things like this. It's so we would need
Where's
to
your
find
business degree from?
whatever the biggest chain.
He made it
No,
up.
I printed it. Yeah, whatever the biggest chain is, probably like Adam and Eve or something. We need to figure out how to contact their buyer. I'm sure that they have different buyers. Like they probably have a dildo buyer and a costume buyer. Or maybe it's only one. I can't imagine it's just one. Then we need to get in contact with him or her. It's usually a woman, and we would need to find a way to make a meeting where we could use some data, probably from Derek's site, that we could make the case that hey, what's the data looking like on your other cum pills? And they could be like, well, this is the amount we're making annually or quarterly. And okay, what kind of promotions are you doing for those? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, this is our margin so far. And we can do X, Y, Z. This would be like a Derek thing. I don't know what the margins look like on the back end. But yeah, that would be how you would do it. The only issue would be is that I don't know what kind of distribution those networks have. And if unless we actually start buying advertising to push sales at that retailer, it will get deleted in a few weeks. They'll go, nobody's buying this. We're not going to do this. So in order to even do it, we would need to have an active and running marketing campaign driving people to Adam and Eve. So for this product, it is a lot of work to get into retail. And so
But
I just want to sell something.
But I'm doing it.
But it's no work at all for me.
All right, so it sounds like
okay.
Too. Hang on. So it sounds like you've got a real good idea of what needs to be done here, and I'm glad to hear that. So,
yeah,
just give me an update in about 6 to 8 hours.
2 days. Yeah, 6 to 8 hours.
First,
go ahead and get on your phone.
And there's a risk to this too, because if we enter a store and we're in the storefront, that's now our like Nielsen and IRI data. And so if that totally tanks and fails, and we want to do this in the future at Walmart, they're going to pull up the past experience that this product did in retail and go, this did not sell. We're not taking a risk.
This Nielsen and our
IRI data.
Can we fake that like my diploma?
No, there's no way to fake that.
Would that be what people like you, like nerds call fraud?
It would be highly illegal to do that, because
like
the
basically
highly or
a
illegal?
little bit square right now.
I know I sound like a real bitch not wanting to defraud Ryan Nielsen.
And I sound like a queer.
Yeah, it would be.
Taylor, you're going to need to write this down, send it to Kyle, and in about a month he will copy paste that back to you and be like, "Where are you on the progress for this?" So I'm really looking.
Are we in Adam and Eve yet in retail? I'm just gonna go take I'm gonna put it in a store, take a picture of it, make you guys think I've done this.
No, I literally want to be in brick and mortar. I literally want to be in brick and mortar stores though. Like there's something very appealing to that in general to me. And like I walked in there.
Being a published author. It's not even about the money. It's just having your product.
It's expensive. There's slotting fees for them to even place your
product
in the store.
Why are you making this not fun?
I'm sorry. I'll just give them a ring and say, "You want cum pills?"
I'm taking.
That's exactly what I want you to do.
Don't call it that. Exactly.
I want you to call them and say, "Hey, is this the fucking like cum palace?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, this is the cum palace." Well, haha. It's funny. I'm also in the jizz biz, matter of fact. And then you tell them that you've got the pills, and you show them some of your Polaroids, And next thing you know, we're behind the
And by
counter.
Polaroids, you mean filled condoms.
Yeah, yeah. Like, what I do is
you act like you're gonna like open up a briefcase for like paperwork, and it's just used
Uh-uh.
condoms
Tie it
stapled
off
to the top of it. Now you'll see the progression.
It's a calendar, and every day I staple a
That's
used
spilled.
condom to a day. And
One
it's
a
like-
day.
Trying
You know
very
those-
hard.
You know those
happens.
advent calendars where like every day has like a candy in it. Every day on my calendar has
The
a
Christmas
has-
ones where it's a little like thing you open up and it's just like a jizz-filled fucking condom in there. It's
every one of them. Every day is filled
Oh,
with
these
another
new Easter
jizz-filled
Reese's
condom.
are terrible.
Each one filled higher than the last.
That's what it is, and then we'll get in trouble because it's like caulk or something. We get caught.
I'm telling you,
We
you walk into a boardroom with a briefcase full of condoms, used
You'll make an
cum-filled
impression.
condoms.
Dude, unironically, the
You're walking out of
easiest
there with
part
a
about
handshake.
getting the easiest part about getting this product into an actual store would be showing that it actually works, because it does. Like that would be the easy part. It would be
It really does work. Like
Mhm. Yeah, and it would be marked up a bunch at like Adam and Eve compared to Derek's site. Interesting though. Interesting to think about. Where like, are you imagining that, Kyle? Like walking into a sex shop with a lady friend and being like, "Oh, what happenstance? You know, I'm a part owner of this company. Oh, that's why you come so much? Yeah, yeah. You didn't think this was all natural, right? No,
no,
this
I'm
is
gonna tell her. I'm
chemically
gonna tell her the
driven."
pills were based off of my DNA.
I mean,
They
the
found a
downside
way.
to it is there's rapes and murders popping up all over the country for me.
No, not like that. Like they're not bottling my cum and selling it to people.
Must
They
be
found
exhausted.
they found that I was genetically superior and produced an enormous amount of semen, and then studied me, and then using that information garnered from said study, they formulated.
Okay, I feel
As an adolescent, the first time you came, you almost drowned in your own semen, and from then on, you realized you had a superpower. It's your origin
That's
story.
right.
Kyle.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it wasn't until my pastor told me many years later
Yeah.
that this was unique. This
Yeah.
was special.
My pastor, it took me a second to process that.
You are made after the Lord's own heart, you little cummer. You got the Holy Ghost leaking out of that. The whole thing. Yeah,